Hey, what's up guys? It's Online Money 24/7 and today we're going to be talking about Warren Buffett's stock picks for 2018. So these are the top 5 stocks that Warren Buffett is invested in currently. So today we're going to be rolling through his portfolio, what exact stocks he is picking for 2018. So guys, let's go ahead and do an overall breakdown first off of what his overall portfolio is broken down into. So taking a look at this pie chart here, his portfolio sectors, the different types of sectors of companies that he is invested in, primarily is financial. So as you can see, 41% financial space, like banks and stuff like that. And then 25% consumer staples. And then under that is 17% IT, information like technology type stocks. Then you have 6% with industrial, 6% with consumer discretionary, and then below that is just like energy, healthcare, and basic materials. So predominantly financials, consumer staples, and information like technology type stuff. So moving into the first stock that is the top of his portfolio, the number 1 stock is Wells Fargo. So the ticker symbol is WFC. So Wells Fargo is a bank. If you guys are not familiar with them, they are one of the largest banks in America right now. They handle transactions, ATMs, and all that kind of stuff. And it's a bank. I mean, there's not really much to talk about there with a bank. But as you can see, the stock has performed pretty well over the past year. They are overall up 8%. So one thing to keep in mind with Warren Buffett's stock picks is that a lot of them are very, very strong, secure companies. They are not really moving up a whole lot. They are very slow growth companies. So as you can see, up 8%. But for him, that's all he's not really going for massive growth in his portfolio because he's got millions upon billions of dollars. Like, there's no reason for him to go aggressive with the kind of portfolio he has. He's going more for dividends, more for just big, strong positions in companies because he's the type of guy where he has so much money invested with Berkshire Hathaway into the stocks is that, if he were to pull out of a stock, that would affect the stock because he has so much money invested in some of these stocks we're talking about today. He's a big player. So his number 1 position is Wells Fargo, making up quite a large percentage of his total portfolio. Now, moving into the second stock we're talking about today is Kraft Heinz. So Kraft Heinz, ticker symbol KHC. So if you guys are not familiar with Kraft Heinz, they make mac and cheese, tomato ketchup. They have a ton of other brands like Miracle Whip. They also have, if you go to the grocery store, they own pretty much half the shelves of the entire grocery store. They're a massive, massive brand. And so this is his number 2 position, his second largest position. Now with Kraft Heinz, they're actually down 11% this year. One of the only stocks to be down right now in such a market that's doing so well. Like the entire stock market is up as a whole, and Kraft Heinz is down 11%. So this is definitely his worst pick probably out of all the companies he is invested in. But come on, he's invested in so many different companies. He's gonna have 1 or 2 that are bound to not do great. That's the point of diversification. So you have like a good bit of companies and you're invested in. So if one goes bad, it's not exactly the worst thing in the world. And down 11% isn't even terrible, but down 11%, especially when the market is doing really well, is not exactly the greatest of news because the market's overall doing pretty well right now. So down 11%, quite a bummer, but Kraft Heinz is a massive brand right here, as you can see. Now, obviously, I'm not exactly sure his position plan with Kraft Heinz because all the other companies have gone up pretty well, as you'll see here. But anyway, that's the position here with Kraft Heinz. This is his second largest position. Now, moving into the third stock here, Apple. So Apple is a relatively new position for Warren Buffett, and so he invested in Apple, and this is his third largest position actually in a tech stock, which is different for him. But I've seen a lot of older investors moving towards investing in Apple, and I think it has to do a lot with just the fact that they have such a massive market cap. They are the largest company in the entire world. In comparison to any other company. And that's why I see a lot of older investors, similar to Warren Buffett, maybe some younger people that obviously younger than Warren Buffett, because Warren Buffett's almost 90, but some of the 70-year-old investors, some people I've talked to, they're moving into Apple now because of its just huge, massive security that it is. That Apple is. Now, their stock has dropped a little bit in the recent time, mostly because of iPhone X sales weren't exactly as big as they had expected. They're still doing good sales numbers, but not exactly what they had expected. So they are down quite a bit right now, and the overall market in the past week has dropped a lot. The Dow Jones dropped quite a bit. I think it was like 600 points or something like that, but that's a lot. So the entire market is typically down right now. So Apple's a little bit down. They're down to like 160 per share, but they're still up 26% over the year. So yeah, they dropped like 20% in the past week just because of this massive like news, and the market dropped a bit, but still for the entire year, they're up 26%. So Apple's been doing pretty good, and they do also have a little dividend there as well if you are invested in Apple. So Apple is Warren Buffett's third largest position. Now moving into the fourth stock for today is Coca Cola. So ticker symbol KO. So we have Coca Cola, as you can see, massive brand. They own Dasani, Fanta, Sprite, Vitamin Water, Minute Maid. I mean, Coke, basically, if there's a new drink coming out in the market, Coke will try and eat them up because they're like, hey, we'll pay you $100 million if we could take your company or your brand and just put it under us. Because Coke, if they have the distribution there, they have the massive branding, where if they take a new drink under their wing, like Powerade or something like that, or Vitamin Water, I'm not exactly sure if they had started out those themselves, but if there's any kind of company out there that's starting a drink and their competitor, it's like, hey, they're doing pretty good here, let's join you onto the team. So Coca-Cola is just like massive brand there, global as well. Now they, like I said, similarly to a lot of other stocks in Warren Buffett's portfolio, they're not exactly massive growth stocks. They're very strong, secure, stable, dividend-paying stocks, because for him, like I said, with the amount of money he has, there's no reason for him at all to try and go and speculative on tech stocks and stuff like that, because it's just not worth the risk for him. And for him, with the amount of money he has, the dividends are completely worth it. You know, when you don't have like $1 million, dividends don't really pay a ton of money. It's very minimal of what dividends pay. But once you get like a nice steady portfolio going, obviously you don't even need to be Warren Buffett. Once you have a nice steady portfolio, dividends actually do pay you a good bit. So that's the whole point of his portfolio, the logic behind really why he's picking these kind of stocks here. I wanted to go in depth on that a little bit for you guys. And so looking at Coca-Cola specifically, though, they are up 16% in the past year. That's pretty average for Coca-Cola. You know, they're just a steady, strong, slow mover. They are a little bit cheaper if you guys are looking to get in on some shares there. They're only $46 a share. So that's comparative. I know some people are like, oh, some stocks are kind of expensive to get into, but Coke is one of the cheaper, more secure, stable ones if you were looking at getting into Coke. Now, moving into the fifth stock is Bank of America. Once again, another bank. BAC is the ticker symbol. So like I said, Warren Buffett, large percentage of his shareholdings are in banks and financial space. Bank of America is the second bank here on this list. He has a lot of money in banks because of the security that they offer. So as you can see, like, there's not really much to talk about. It's a bank. It's Bank of America, okay? They offer ATM services, that kind of stuff like that, loans, all that. And so Bank of America, they are actually up the most on this list, up 39%. Apple was up, I think, 42% before this recent drop. So Apple was in the top position for the highest growth out of his top 5 stocks here in this list, but now Bank of America up 39%. They have not been hit at all really by the dip from the overall stock market, because they are just such a solid company. I mean, they're not going to take those hits as much as tech stocks do, like Apple. So as you can see, Bank of America up quite a bit. And so that is, 5 of the top stocks from Warren Buffett's portfolio, going from number 1 down to the 5th one. He has I think about 30 stocks total in his portfolio, maybe even 50. But these are the largest positions. So I figured I would go through his biggest positions, his top 5 stocks that he believes in strongly. So these are Warren Buffett's top 5 stocks that he is in for 2018. So guys, if you are actually interested in getting started in the stock market and you don't have a brokerage yet, I do recommend Robinhood, because it's a free stock trading app, no commissions on trades. That's what I personally use. So if you want to support the channel, you go ahead and click the sign up link down below. You get a free stock as well. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, what the heck are you doing? Hit that dang subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well so you get those notifications for all those videos, uploads, and all that good stuff. Leave a like. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns. But anyway, guys, that's all for today's video. So I will see you in the next one. Peace out.